off we go. Yeah.
From the director of The Mummy and The Mummy Returns comes more mummies.
Like that. So the major step out of my comfort zone is just about to happen now. I haven't flown in like 6 years or something like that. If you've ever seen me step out of my comfort zone, then you'll know that a major freak out is about.
I'm about to embark on some journey.
In the year 2013, one clueless Swiss
I
guy
literally don't even know what would make sense to bring along.
is getting on a plane to go to a city called London.
But yeah, technically I could be in London right now. I don't really know. They could have flown me to Singapore. I don't know. Probably figure it out eventually.
There, Big Ben. I looked at it just for the record. Tells us the time, makes a lot of noise every now and then. And there's the thing, which now is at the best angle to film it, really.
Nice little English weather.
He's visiting the capital of England to see, well, he doesn't really know because he's clueless, as I've already mentioned. Hence, cluelessly wandering around, he stumbles upon all sorts of fancy stuff in London. This is the story of that clueless Swiss guy, and that of the fancy stuff.
Whatever you do, don't blink. Blink and you're dead. So, there.
Like everybody around me was like staring at me while I was going off about Nazis and shit, so I might want to get out of here as quickly as possible before they alert security out a possible fascist in their midst. So that's what I'm gonna do.
The journey begins on 22nd of August in Switzerland, in front of an extremely dirty mirror.
From the looks of it, I'm about to embark on some journey through the lands of England, and kind of excited. Don't know what to expect really, but all sorts of stuff here. I literally don't even know what would make sense to bring along, so hopefully I brought whatever I might need. I don't know. And yeah, I'm just about to leave, so next time I'm turning this thing on, I'm probably on the road. And yeah, I'm very excited, like I said. And off we go. Yeah.
So, this is pretty much the regular part of this entire endeavor. Everything, like, I have been here before and it's not that big a deal. So the major step out of my comfort zone is just about to happen now, because honestly I haven't flown in like 6 years or something like that, so that's a little icky. And if you have ever seen me step out of my comfort zone, then you'll know that a major freak out is about, and I'll try and keep that as contained as possible, but I have no idea how successful that will be, so see about it. So this is Zurich Airport, and like the check-in level, nothing fancy here, so yeah, let's see what happens now, I guess. So checked in, which was kind of funny because the guy at the counter was obviously Swiss, which makes sense considering I'm flying with an airline called Swiss, I guess. But basically, I just sort of like automatically like spoke to him in English, which of course made him assume that I was like foreign or something. So he wanted my passport, and like halfway in I would like hand him over like my Swiss ID, and it was kind of weird, I guess, but he was very nice. I sort of told him, well, I'm not very familiar with this routine, so hopefully we can like make it work or whatever. I don't know, I'm very shy, I guess. This lack of experience, or I guess lack of recent experience. I used to fly a lot, actually. I used to like it too, but now that I haven't done it in so long, I feel like I'm a little bit out of shape when it comes to that. Anyway, so I checked in. Now I need to like sort of get to like the departure thing. Like there's like a gate there I have to get to, which I honestly have no clue how this works, but we'll see about it. This is the observation deck. I assume this is called that because you can observe things like planes, and like little cars that drive around with luggage, I assume. And I'm not entirely sure why that woman and that child are Nazis, but apparently they're very enthusiastic for the fur. By the way, I'm just walking away from that sign now, and like everybody around me was like staring at me while I was going off about Nazis and shit, so I might want to get out of here as quickly as possible before they alert security about a possible fascist in their midst.
Oh my dear lord, we get it. You're getting held up by stupid signs. Get to the fucking plane already.
So I went through the thing, like I don't know if it's called customs or whatever, the thing, I scanned
Security check maybe? Duh.
everything and sort of check if I'm carrying illegal things or liquids or whatever. I don't know what they checked for, but went smoothly. I remember once I had a pair of scissors on me, and well, they weren't so cool with that, so we had to throw them out.
He's gonna miss that flight, isn't he?
Well, I'd seriously like to know who the person is, like the sexy voice person who makes all these announcements here. Dear Lord, that woman. Do you hear that? Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. Anyway, so this apparently is the way to my gate, which is gate D, like Dominic, and I'm traversing towards that particular area.
Oh, praise the Lord, finally. Jesus Christ, he's not even in the air yet.
And immediately, like, people stick up in this huge queue here, like, you know, that, like the little screen that you see there, that's where people like go through and like show their boarding pass and whatnot. And the line goes on until here. And I wonder what the point is of this, considering that we have like reserved seats on this flight, so like you're not gonna get a better seat or anything. So maybe it's just they don't want to climb over people. But in turn, of course, it just gets climbed over.
After never-ending senseless babbling, the clueless Swiss guy finally makes it onto the plane filled with hot air and noisy kids.
Yeah, lots of noise, lots of things going on. I don't quite know if I should like put my laptop back like overhead or something.
Blah, 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 blah. Well, the gist of things is that the clueless Swiss guy sat in an aisle seat and thus did not film any of his journey on the actual plane. This was a lot of build-up for nothing. So let's see what was recorded next.
Alright then, so much for that. I do not like landings. Too much anticipation for one super crucial moment. But yeah, technically I could be in London right now. I don't really know. They could have flown me to Singapore. I don't know. Probably figure it out eventually.
This very short message is the only document proving the arrival of the clueless Swiss guy in London Heathrow. There were no more recordings from day 0. The clueless Swiss guy offers this explanation.
So, what happened yesterday is I got off the plane and I filmed a little bit, as you may remember, but then when I got through customs, I wanted to film some more to explain that I got through customs, and then some sort of like official-looking guy came running at me and went, "Sir, could you turn that off, please?" And I was very frightened because I thought I might have caused an international incident. Also, garbage everywhere and skateboards.
It's a skateboard
Graveyard.
cemetery.
Okay. Well, that's there. So anyway, so I couldn't film at the airport, and then I was so tired I didn't film anything else. And now it's the other day, and I'm less tired, so that's good. And this seems to be London, apparently.
This is Hungerford Bridge.
This is what bridge?
Hungerford.
Hungerford, like Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Good. And there's the thing, which now is at the best angle to film it, really. Fantastic. London tubes give you a way out, which is fantastic. Anyway, apparently we're gonna go in the in-bank on one of these things.
And now, an extremely important public service announcement concerning St. Paul's Cathedral.
So, whatever you do, don't blink. Blink and you're dead. So, there. That's them. And
one of them is looking at us.
hopefully you realize that an image of an angel is an angel. So really, you shouldn't be watching this whatsoever. Or just keep watching it. I'm not quite sure how that works because that went a little off the reservation ultimately.
It will turn into aliens.
Yeah, so just, you know, stay away from this place if you can. Alright, so here is the shard. Apparently you can drive a motorcycle up that thing. Did you even hear me say anti-grav?
Dude, you just misquoted Doctor Who.
I can't see it on the camera thing because there's too much light. There. Looks all globy. Alright, so something a little more distinctly London-esque. Because, you know, we're gonna go to London. You should look at distinctly London-esque things, I guess. There, Big Ben. I looked at it just for the record. Tells us the time, makes a lot of noise every now and then. So that's the fancy thing about Big Ben, I guess. So what is this? This is Parliament. Like all of this. What do they do in this? Do they have like offices and like a big hall where they hang out? Huh?
I feel like Fonda's house.
Well, I don't know what they do there either.
Yeah, just talk about it.
So there's like gigantic sort of discussion halls where a lot of people can hang out and talk.
No, it's like those benches.
Yeah.
Have comments and have doors.
And like what's the like prime minister guy that's like in the middle and be confused. Alright, so that's that. There's boats and ships on the dirty waters of the Thames. And what's a tower? You know what that tower is? It says
It's also part
British.
of Parliament.
Right, so what do you do in that tower?
Fancy dinners, I don't know.
Fancy dinners, she says. So what's interesting about this is that, you know, like this is all nice and pretty and whatnot, but you actually hear sirens like going off every like 2 minutes or so. It's like, you know, like Nico Bellic, Carl Johnson and Donny Versetti are like all on the loose at the same time.
Apart from these touristy sites, the clueless Swiss guy spent day one staring at stuff in the Tate Modern and Tate Regular museums. Incompetent as he was, he did not film any of it. For some reason, there is only a single recording from day 2. Luckily, it contains the most important information about that day, as you will see.
Alright, so nice little English weather, because why not? It's all rainy and shit, but I guess that was to be expected. This is what, Kensington Gardens?
This is actually Hyde Park now.
This is Hyde Park, apparently. I knew that.
No, you did not.
And this is a memorial for Princess Diana, who a lot of people know. So it's basically some sort of like round fountain. The water converses here, I think. It's kind of cool. And it's raining, so I'm gonna have to turn the camera off so it doesn't get too wet.
Yeah, seriously, that is it.
Alright, lo and behold, the globe. Right here. We've been watching, we've seen the first part of Shakespeare's Henry VI. Alright, with the GH thing. And that was impressive. It was also, we were on like the groundings level, which is a little exhausting, standing around and everything, but honestly didn't bother too much because the same sort of thing would apply for sitting around for the same amount of time, I guess, so it was okay.
And like I said, the play itself was really cool. Although, considering that it's just the first part of 3, I feel like one should now go on to watch all the others. So we're just gonna watch the second one because probably couldn't manage to stand for like 9 hours straight or whatever. Well, I guess it's a little exaggerated, but whatever amount of time it would take to see all 3 plays. So, just watch one more in the globe, as one does in England, or London more specifically. Seems to make sense. It's over here. I guess the Tate Modern is over there, which we've been to, well, 2 days ago, which is pretty cool. Though a little overwhelming in terms of if you want to see everything, it's probably not gonna be like the sort of amount you can deal with. Also, for some reason, there's people running around calling each other bitch. I don't know. That's just what it is. All right. So, well, that's just peachy. So this is what Richmond Park, which is between Richmond and Kingston, and there is deer just hanging out, eating the grass. We went here, had like a picnic, and the weather's really nice. And now we're actually on our way to like some sort of tea place, and these are just all over the place, which is nice. Yeah. And that's about it. That's all I have to say. Whee!
I don't even know what that sound was supposed to be.
So there is the bridge, which is Tower Bridge, and we're gonna cross it to get to the Tower of London, which is over there. And
City of London?
yes, also it has a city attached to it.
No, it's a city.
It is. It just is
It's the banking
in its nature.
borough of London, so it's a city.
Ah, so that. And it looks very fancy. We're on the bridge now. Pretty cool. I guess for traffic, not too convenient with only one lane each way, but since there's so many bridges, probably not that big a problem. There you get the view from
Oh, and there's
Thames.
HMS Belfast, which is an old warship that sailed Second World War, I think, and then later on as well.
So is it now like a floating museum or something like that?
Yeah,
Or-
it's basically what do you call this? Like they made it to look like it was during the times it was active. So
Preserved sort of that, or
you have like mannequins standing in the kitchen. And
Oh really? So basically you can like get on a cruise with this and then, or does it just, is it docked there permanently?
no, it's docked. It's
Okay.
a museum.
Cool. Alright, so that is there, as you can see. And we have the Shard. And what is that? City Hall?
Yep.
This roundy thing. And apparently right now everybody's cleaning the glass buildings in London, which is, well, probably torture for those who are doing it because you never really get done. Yeah. And there's still the Tower of London. We're still sort of headed to. Alright. We made it in here.
Oh, I think it tells you what they
And now we can look at siege weaponry, apparently, which is nice. We're waiting for a tour to begin, which seems to be happening very shortly. So this is what it looks like from the moat, I guess. If this was contemporary, we would be endangered. So we went through a little tour to the Tower of London, which was surprisingly amusing. Here you have this nice view of
Tower Bridge once more. That's one of the waters people. One of these gave us a tour. And they're actually, they seem like they're very humorous people in general, which is awesome. And Anna wants to ask him something, so there you go. We've been in a building that you see in the back with Q, and we've marveled at the Queen's, or I guess at the Royal Carbon Collection, which is impressive, but honestly it's a little crazy as well. Like, what are they gonna do with so much jewelry, or jewels or whatever? But yeah, it's pretty cool, and apparently that's what you do if you go to the Tower of London anyway.
On day 6, the final day of his stay in London, the clueless Swiss guy went to the British Museum, the only museum in which he actually filmed anything.
We're gonna go in there and look at all the stolen stuff. It doesn't actually belong to the Brits originally, but now does, because they said so, which seems like an appropriate way of claiming property.
From the director of The Mummy and The Mummy Returns comes more mummies.
Like that. All the mummies. Sarcophagi apparently is the plural of sarcophagus, so good, that's what it is. Loads of dead people's containers, pretty much. So here we have some time traveling currency, apparently used for props on TV. Well, a specific prop in this scene that you can see below here. And they made this especially because apparently they're not allowed to use actual, like, you know, counterfeit money, which is not too surprising, I guess.
After his visit to the British Museum, it was time for the clueless Swiss guy to get underway to the airport again.
We're on the bus to Heathrow, and if you remember correctly, which you do, I can't film there for some reason, so I probably won't. Maybe I'll sneak in a peek when I'm on the airplane, because that seemed to be no problem. And I have 15 minutes of battery left apparently, so yay.
Good. At least that means you won't be able to babble on for as long as you did last time.
Alright, don't tell anybody that I'm filming here at London Heathrow. That is our flight, right there, that airplane. Looks like it might rain, we'll see about that. Alright, so I am on the airplane, and like I was saying, actually compared to the last time, this is actually much more pleasant on here. It's not super warm and musky and disgusting. Anyway, I'm on 30F, which is actually quite far in the back of the plane, and I'm actually in a window seat, which is cool because maybe I might be able to film a little bit of what's going on outside throughout the flight. I don't know about that yet though. In Zurich right now, and you know, the whole long waiting process. Hopefully not. I don't know. We'll see. Now it's a little more than 10:30. Hopefully I'll find a decent train connection or something, because otherwise this is gonna turn horrible. Compared to London Heathrow, where it took me like half an hour even to just fucking show my ID to some guy. This whole thing actually only took like 15 minutes in total, and I'm now downstairs at the train station, as you can see behind me there. There. These are the departures. I just about to get another train in about 20 minutes, going to Veal, and then I will take my bike from there. And that's pretty much it. I'm pretty tired. Been a long day, an interesting day, and it's generally been an interesting trip. I can't believe I did all this without, you know, dying or anything. So that's positive. And well, I don't really know what else to say, but thanks for, you know, keeping up with my adventures, and I guess see you the next time I'm at an airport for no reason. I don't know what that meant. Have a good night. Cheers. But don't do drugs, kids.